Maybe Connor or something like that. But it would have to be like right now, like straight off a binge weekend.
Oh yeah.
Like no training.
Yeah.
Like that fight would work.
Like he's actually hungover.
And we always think of the old Connor too. Connor's walking around. It looks like he's a solid 185, probably 190. When we saw Logan when we were at Jake Paul, Mike Tyson, he said he weighed 190 pounds.
Conor McGregor is due to fight Logan Paul, not to be confused with Jake Paul, in India.
Logan and Jake are excited because it's exciting for them, because at the end of the day, they might be stars, but they're not the star at the level of Conor McGregor.
Speculations are swirling in the combat sports world about a potential boxing match between YouTuber-turned-boxer Logan Paul and former UFC champion Conor McGregor. Reports suggest that the fight might take place in India, marking a historic moment for the country as a host for such a high-profile event. In early December, Conor McGregor addressed rumors about a potential fight with Ilia Topuria on X, firmly denying the speculations. However, McGregor did confirm that preliminary discussions had taken place with India's Ambani family regarding a matchup against Logan Paul. Additionally, McGregor revealed his intention to return to the octagon, signaling his upcoming comeback to the sport. Daniel Cormier has expressed the view that while Jake Paul and Logan Paul may be stars in their own right, they have not reached the superstar status of Conor McGregor. Cormier emphasized that despite McGregor's claims of achieving major goals in recent years, none of his plans or announcements have come to fruition. According to Cormier, this reflects the difference between the Paul brothers and McGregor in terms of influence and impact within the sport. Daniel Cormier stated, "I'm going to have to see it to believe it. Logan and Jake are excited because it's exciting for them, because at the end of the day, they might be stars, but they're not stars at the level of Conor McGregor."
We talked about impact. That right there tells you the impact of Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor has told us of a lot of things over the last 3 years. None of them have come to fruition. I'm going to have to see it to believe it.
When asked whether this marked the end of Conor McGregor's career, Daniel Cormier responded by suggesting that if McGregor were to pursue a fight with Logan Paul, it would likely be an exhibition match. However, Cormier made it clear that McGregor is expected to make his return to the octagon for a competitive fight in the future, indicating that his career is far from over. Daniel added, "He's going to have to rinse some of that stench of him from everything that's happened outside the octagon."
No, he goes and boxes Logan Paul to be an exhibition. No, I think he's going to fight in the octagon. I think he has to, though.
Daniel Cormier believes that Conor McGregor has firmly established himself in the octagon, and as a result, he is inevitably bound to return to the sport. In response to Cormier's comments, MMA Junkie host Mike Bone humorously pointed out that if McGregor intends to clean up his image, aligning himself with the Paul brothers may not be the best strategy.
Where he made his home is inside that cage, and I think that at some point he's going to have to get back there.
Yeah, I agree. If you're trying to rinse the stain off you, I don't know if going into business with the Paul brothers is necessary. That's me. Guys are going to be afraid to throw all Conor's, issues in his face, but we'll see. They're
going to tell him every single thing that he's done over the course of the last 3 years negatively. They're trying to keep his head. Yeah, it's not the best.
On his podcast, Impulsive, Logan Paul expressed his interest in stepping into the UFC octagon. Co-host Mike Myjak asked Logan who he would consider fighting, leading to a lighthearted exchange about Conor McGregor being a potential opponent. They joked that fighting McGregor might be a good option, that is, if McGregor were drunk, making him an easier target. Logan at that time subtly hinted at the bout before Conor even posted on social media about the talks.
And now that, you guys are partners,
yeah,
I think at the right time,
sure,
it could make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Man, who the hell are you going to fight, bro? And don't look at me like that, but I just mean like...
I don't know. Who do you want me to fight, Mike?
Maybe Connor or something like that. But it would have to be like right now, like straight off a binge weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Like no training.
Yeah.
Like that fight would work.
Like he's actually hungover when he shows up.
Yeah, something like that would work.
Brendan Schaub on his YouTube channel expressed surprise at the idea of the UFC granting Conor McGregor the opportunity to fight Logan Paul, given UFC President Dana White's well-known disdain for the Paul brothers. Schaub remarked that seeing White collaborate with the Pauls in any capacity is unexpected. He claims that the potential partnership is shocking. Schaub added, "So happy Punch who's kinda in with Dana. They confirmed it. Conor McGregor is due to fight with Logan Paul."
Conor versus Jake. We thought it was Jake Paul. That would blow me. And be like, oh, that's not a fight. What the blah, blah, blah. This is bullshit circus. I'm with you. I understand all that narrative. I'm just saying, for the UFC to grant Conor McGregor the right to fight Logan Paul, and Dana hates the Pauls. You know how Dana holds grudges. We know how he holds grudges. For him to being cahoots with the Paul brothers in any facet, that blows me. That's wild, dude.
It has been reported that Logan Paul and Conor McGregor could earn a staggering $250 million from their potential matchup, highlighting the massive financial stakes involved in the highly anticipated event. Brendan Schaub emphasized the astonishing payday for Logan Paul and Conor McGregor, noting that their potential earnings surpass what Alexander Usyk and Tyson Fury made for their highly anticipated bout. Schaub pointed out that McGregor alone is set to earn more than both elite boxers combined, despite Fury and Usyk competing at the pinnacle of boxing. He contrasted this with a matchup involving a YouTuber and a controversial figure, underscoring the disparity in earnings between spectacle and the sport's highest level. Brendan added, stating, "We have a YouTuber and a guy going through some allegations making more, just one of them making more than the greatest boxers on the planet."
It's kind of like the Saudi money, how they're paying Tyson and all these guys. Like, not 250 million is wild. 250 million is more than Tyson and Usyk combined. Not even close. For just Conor will make more than Usyk and Fury made combined. And that's boxing at the highest level.
Ariel Helwani provided an in-depth analysis of the situation, acknowledging that upon closer examination, there is validity to Conor McGregor's statements. Helwani addressed questions about whether McGregor's plans were legitimate, emphasizing that this is not a case of McGregor simply trolling or making empty claims. Instead, he confirmed that this is a serious matter being actively discussed. Ariel Helwani further stated, "Reached out to some more parties, and as of now, everyone is very tight-lipped, but I can tell you there is validity there."
Now, when I say this is a real thing, let's be very clear. I'm not saying this is a real thing, it's a done deal. I'm saying he's just not, like, this isn't him trolling or pulling this out of his back pocket. It's a real thing that is being discussed.
Ariel Helwani noted that a potential matchup between Conor McGregor and Logan Paul is unlikely to face significant obstacles, given that both the UFC and WWE are now owned by TKO. Helwani compared the situation to the Floyd Mayweather versus Conor McGregor fight, highlighting how that bout encountered hurdles, such as dealing with promoters and event organizers. However, with the current ownership structure, he suggested that such challenges would be less of a concern for a McGregor-Paul fight.
The parent company of WWE and UFC is TKO. So they're all under the same umbrella. Very easy to get done. That's a thing that I don't think would be a hurdle. It's not like trying to do Mayweather-McGregor. There were a ton of hurdles in trying to make that happen. Mayweather-McGregor was a thing that ended up happening, but it took a hell of a long time to get there, and the main stumbling block, if you will, was UFC and Showtime coming together. There isn't really any of that here. They're literally the same company, for all intents and purposes.
On Michael Bisping's podcast, Paul Felder and Michael Bisping spoke about the fight. Paul Felder weighed in on the situation, stating that he doesn't fault anyone for pursuing such an opportunity, especially with $250 million at stake. Felder acknowledged the financial incentive as a compelling reason for any fighter to consider a matchup of this scale. Paul added, "I am just curious to see if it's really going to be able to shake out because of all the legality behind it."
Are there special rule sets? What makes it an exhibition versus a sanctioned pro boxing match? How do they get through that? And yeah, I mean, 250 million, I don't blame anybody for wanting to do it.
Paul Felder noted that if the UFC chooses to intervene, they likely have the legal authority to block a fight between Conor McGregor and Logan Paul. He highlighted that the UFC has been actively working to bring McGregor back for a fight within the organization, but those efforts have yet to materialize.
The UFC puts their foot down on something like that, I imagine they legally can stop that from happening, especially since they've been trying to get him to fight in the UFC and that hasn't worked out.
Michael Bisping remarked that since both Conor McGregor and Logan Paul are ultimately under the TKO umbrella, he can envision a scenario where the fight takes place. Bisping acknowledged the shared corporate structure as a key factor that could facilitate the matchup. Michael Bisping added, "Fair play to both men if they achieve that bag."
I mean, the one thing is that they've done this before with Floyd Mayweather, right?
Yep.
So there's a precedence been set. Logan's with TKO. You know, Conor's with TKO, that's the parent company of WWE and the UFC. So technically, I can see a world where it goes down.
Paul Felder posed a question to Michael Bisping, asking if he truly believed that Logan Paul and Conor McGregor would deliver a genuine fight. Felder noted that exhibition matches often lack the intensity of real competition, with fighters typically not fully challenging one another, resulting in a bout that feels more like a glorified sparring session.
Do you think they're going to have... Are they really going to fight? I mean, that's the real question to me, because sometimes those exhibition matches, the way they lay the rules out, it's more of a kind of intense sparring match? Is there no headgear? Like what's going on there?
Michael Bisping responded by pointing out that both Conor McGregor and Logan Paul have faced Floyd Mayweather in the past. However, he noted a key difference between the two. Logan Paul appeared to gas out much quicker during his fight, showing signs of fatigue earlier than McGregor did in his bout against Mayweather. Bisping claimed staging, Conor would destroy him, Logan, if he was in shape, and that's the big thing. Is he going to be in shape?
Logan also fought Floyd Mayweather, and whilst he was twice the size of him, he did gas, he did get tired, and Floyd rightly won. He didn't stop him like he did Conor, however, that was a referee stoppage.
Michael Bisping highlighted that a fight between Conor McGregor and Logan Paul would undoubtedly be a massive spectacle, drawing significant attention and attracting fans from around the world. He also noted that the event's sports washing aspect would likely achieve its intended effect, further amplifying its global appeal. He implied that the Ambani family that is said to sponsor the event had already flown superstars like Mike Tyson, Katy Perry, and Backstreet Boys for the wedding of their son, so doing the same for the boxing match would not be an issue.
Now, granted, it would be a massive spectacle. A lot of people would fly in from all over the world, and the sports washing element would probably be successful. You know, at this guy's wedding alone, he had like Mike Tyson, Katy Perry. The VIP list dropped off a bit. I did notice that the Backstreet Boys were there as well.
On their podcast, Tim Welch and Shan Ali discussed the possibility of a Logan Paul versus Conor McGregor matchup, emphasizing that it seems highly likely to happen. They pointed out that with both the WWE and UFC operating under the TKO umbrella, the corporate alignment could pave the way for such an event. Additionally, they noted that UFC President Dana White appears to have a respectful relationship with Logan Paul, further increasing the chances of the bout becoming a reality. Sean further added, stating, "I don't want to say no way because all the crazy fights we have already seen, I just can't imagine."
Well, rumor has it Logan Paul and Conor McGregor are talking about fighting, and it seems real because the WWE is owned by TKO, and remember the UFC and TKO group they kind of teamed up. And Dana White's always had a good relationship with Logan Paul. You know, it sounded like, and the way Ariel talks about it, it sounds like it's serious.
Tim Welch addressed the weight difference between Conor McGregor and Logan Paul, noting that McGregor now appears to be around 185 pounds, while Logan was estimated to weigh around 190 pounds during the Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul fight. Welch observed that Logan Paul doesn't seem as large as he used to be, suggesting that the weight gap between the two fighters might not be as significant as some believe, making the matchup more feasible. Welch further added, Logan is not near as stacked as you're used to seeing him in the WWE.
But Conor, remember, and we always think of the old Conor too. Conor's walking around, it looks like he's a solid 185, probably 190. When we saw Logan when we were at Jake Paul Mike Tyson, he said he weighed 190 pounds.
Sean O'Malley expressed his enthusiasm for seeing Conor McGregor make his return to the UFC. He highlighted the excitement and energy McGregor brings to the sport, stating that he would love to witness McGregor's iconic walkout to the octagon once again. Sean added that, "I want Conor to come back, walk out, hit someone with the left hand, jump up on the cage. That's what I'd want to see."
I do too. I would love to see Conor come back and start someone in the UFC. That's what if I could pick anything, I want Conor to come back.
On his YouTube channel, American promoter Chael Sonnen made some bold claims regarding the speculations around McGregor versus Paul. Sonnen voiced his doubts about Conor McGregor's recent claims, particularly regarding a potential $250 million boxing match with Logan Paul and the involvement of a billionaire from India. He argued that promoting tourism is usually the role of a government rather than an individual, further questioning the legitimacy of the scenario. Sonnen dismissed the idea of such a massive paycheck, suggesting that the situation might be exaggerated or entirely fabricated. Chael went on to say, "There was no truth, no India new boxing league, no Conor and Paul, there is no $250 million. There was no part of the story that was true."
There is not a billionaire in India looking to bring people over and change tourism. That is something exclusively done by a government, and that government is done in one place, which is in the Middle East. And third, there's no check for $250 million.
Stephen A. Smith, American TV personality, shared his perspective on the potential Logan Paul versus Conor McGregor fight, stating that he has no issue with the matchup. Smith explained that McGregor is not currently ready to return to the UFC, suggesting that a fight with Logan Paul might make more sense at this stage. He added that if McGregor were to return to the UFC now, he would likely face a thorough defeat, as elite fighters take their craft seriously. According to Smith, staying in fighting shape involves rigorous preparation and discipline, not simply bulking up with muscle and focusing on on appearance. Smith added, "I appreciate this fight because it's pure entertainment. It's an exhibition."
I have no issue with this fight for a few reasons. Number one, obviously, I don't think he's ready to be back in the UFC. I think he will get his kicked thoroughly.
Yep.
These fighters are elite. They take this very seriously, and their definition of being in shape and ready to fight isn't bloating themselves up with muscles and looking good in the mirror. These brothers are ready to throw down.
Stephen A. Smith expressed his support for Logan Paul in a potential matchup against Conor McGregor, arguing that Logan has the upper hand. He emphasized that McGregor is not a boxer, but primarily a striker, which puts him at a disadvantage in a boxing match. Smith added that McGregor wouldn't be able to clip Logan Paul easily, given Logan's size, reach, and conditioning, making him a formidable opponent in the ring. Stephen added that he's a much bigger man, and he has more experience in boxing.
I think Logan Paul's going to beat him. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think that Conor's a boxer. He's a striker. So he's sitting up there. He ain't even throwing jabs.
He's looking to get that one punch. He's looking to land that left.
You ain't clipping Logan Paul like that. No, you got to do more than that.
As the buzz around a potential Conor McGregor versus Logan Paul bout continues to grow, it's clear this event could redefine the landscape of combat sports, blending spectacle with high-stakes competition. Whether it's McGregor's proven legacy in the octagon or Logan Paul's ability to command global attention, the conversation is far from over. But what do you think? Do you see this bout happening? And if so, will it live up to the hype? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We would love to hear your take. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want to stay updated on all the latest news in sports and entertainment, don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to Boxism for more content. Hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.